All right, folks, I'm here with Luca today. He's going to be helping us. It's been a while since you've been on the channel, but he's helped me with some suspension work before, sway bars that we've done on my Model Y. And today we are going to be adding the Unplugged Performance Luxury suspension kit along with the dual rate springs and some rear camber arms. So I'll have Luca's information. If you guys are in the Valley and you need like a recommended shop. So he used to work for Tesla. He's very good. He's ripping car GTRs apart. So working on a Tesla is like putting batteries in a Game Boy for him. But yeah, so he's excellent to work with. I'll have his information down in the description. But basically, my cameraman Andrew, once we went out to Unplugged, he saw how good the suspension was. He bought it himself, and we're going to install it on his car today. Dual rate lowering springs we took before pictures. We'll show you how much it lowers the car, and then the comfort, and we'll show you the adjustability that you can have after they are installed. So we're going to show you some parts of the installment process as Luca goes along here, and I hope you enjoy the video. Yeah, so Luca just told us that these are some rubber protectors because over time there's too much pressure and these actually...
It wears through the paint and then it just sounds like a hammer.
Yeah.
Metal on metal, just ding, 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 ding.
So as far as the luxury suspension setup goes, there's the luxury set and there's the luxury pro set, and then they have a set that's like some crazy $14,000 set that they probably don't move a lot of. But I think as far as a price point for this, it's very good. So this is right around $1,000 for the shocks. The camber arms are $420 and the springs are $420. So if you don't get the camber arms, just the springs and the shocks at like $1,500 bucks. Plus install on top of that, depending on where you go. I think it's a very reasonable price for something that you can adjust, and it absolutely makes the car more comfortable. At least on my Model Y, it did make it more comfortable. So we'll be able to let you know after we go and drive it. Andrew's put 45,000 miles on this Model 3, so he'll be able to give you an update. And this is like, it's not sponsored, paid for the stuff. We're just gonna give our feedback on, you know, kind of how it feels. And then if you are in the Phoenix area, having Luca here, someone that knows what they're doing to be able to install it is very helpful as well. Just to show you guys here, dual rate spring, you can see it's more bunched up at the bottom and then spaces as we go.
One rate and then secondary rate.
Oh, okay.
It's just very progressively goes in basically.
Right. And then these are not progressive. They are just standard. It's the same gapping all the way through. Very big difference when you show them side by side.
Yep.
So, and what is it? The first, this is soft.
This is like the overall, yeah, something like that. I believe these are the softer ones, like all the smaller vibrations, and
right.
These take up the larger loading when you do all your hard aggressive turning and stuff like that.
Yeah, because you can feel it, like if you go over the little rivets in the road, it eats it, and then when you lean into it, it firms up. Yep. Yeah. All right, so Luca just showed us a few things under the hood here. So this is the turbo 4-cylinder, right?
Yes.
Right.
No, V8.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. But he's just topping off the coolant here. He's using some distilled water. Yeah. Nice.
Obviously, you want to use the G48. We don't have any, but in this case, it's just only needs like a cup out of like, I think about a gallon or so, something like that. A little cup is not going to be detrimental.
Okay. And then
it's distilled water. There's no minerals or anything, so it's not going to be any type of detriment to the system, generally speaking.
And the other thing we were talking about is the brake fluid. So the brake fluid reservoir is right here. And I was kind of asking him, like, when do we change it? Your general recommendation, because we use the brakes so little in these things because of regenerative braking, is at about 80,000 miles. If it becomes like a milk chocolatey color, that's when it's like, okay, it's time to change the brake fluid. But generally he recommends 80,000 miles, and that's something that he can do here at the shop as well. Or depending on how comfortable you are working at home, if you've worked on cars before, you can probably drain the brakes. So that's a thin wall socket that you made on your own. Yeah, so to those of you doing this at home, this is one area where you could get tripped up if you don't have something like that. The Model Y is different. It has all the exposure here, so you don't need it. Yeah, just another tip for you on Model 3s. You need that. From Unplugged, these come preset to match the length of your stock camber arms. This is significantly heavier, this much lighter, much stronger piece, and then you have the ability to adjust the rear camber, which is just the tire going this way or this way. On literally every Tesla, regardless of air suspension or not, you're gonna have a little more wear on the inside shoulder under heavy acceleration. And you can actually, there's proof of that on the tires here.
Not quite so much just now, but
yeah, because
it
this
essentially would be this edge right here, this band, because the tire would be leaning
inward.
So
Yeah.
the more aggressive this is, generally speaking, you're gonna wear that inner edge. Obviously, that's where the contact patch is. You can see from the bottom.
Yeah. Andrew's going to put these on, and especially with lowering the car, it's going to add more negative camber. So he will take this to an alignment shop, and then from there, they will be able to just remove it and make it as neutral as possible. So that's what's going on here.
Spherical bearings, that's cool.
What is a spherical bearing?
So it's it's a style of like bushing. Instead of a rubber bushing, it's like an actual bearing.
Okay.
So it just freely moves. There's no like inherent tension in it. So like normally you'd want to kind of preload the suspension at the right height, and then you actually tighten down this bolt because this bushing is solid, and then essentially this will act like it'll have some preload in it. So this one, since this is a bearing internally, this will automatically it's free moving.
Yeah.
Right now it's really tight, but it will free move under. Like you can put it anywhere, so there's no preload on there.
So this alone will change a little bit of the feel of the car.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a stiffer feel. Obviously, you're gonna have a little bit more noise. One's a metal bearing, one's a rubber bushing. So that's the trade-off.
Just torqued it to 85 pound-feet there, just for everyone's reference. Oh, shoot.
Foot-pounds.
Foot-pounds. And why is it LB/-FT? Am I saying that wrong? It's always...
No, it should be FT-LBS.
So what about how engines are measured?
Same thing, foot-pounds. Foot-pounds of torque.
I've said that wrong for 5 years on this channel. So.
But you can see how it like freely moved.
Yeah.
And then that same movement will also happen like this. So there's no preload on this bushing whatsoever.
Also, as usual, this video is brought to you by INTOTHEAM.com. This is their Surf Life vintage tee. You can get it on their website. I've also done a collaboration with them on a few t-shirts. Look at me right there on the website with their Electric Escape t-shirt. So anyways, you can go to INTOTHEAM.com and use code Gjeebs. That'll save you 10% on your order. I'll have it linked below. These t-shirts are extremely comfortable. They're great to wash, dry, whatever. They last a long time. I've been partnered with them for 3 years now. They've been a partner on the channel. We've done collaborations on the Electric Desert t-shirt. I have another one for a third collaboration coming up. Very comfortable t-shirts. They fit well. They're basic tees, just have a little logo or no logo. They fit you well, they're comfortable, and you will attract a mate if you don't have one. INTOTHEAM, thank you for sponsoring the video. Link in description. So as far as the suspension setting goes, there are 30 different clicks that you can go through. When I spoke to the engineer who designed this, he said the car is happy anywhere under setting 0 to 20, he said the car is happy. So for this specific setup, we're going with a setting 5. So counterclockwise all the way till it won't turn, and then 5 clicks from there. Those are the settings we went at all 4 corners. Very easy to access the front of them, but in the rear, it's harder. You have to remove the wheel and actually possibly pull it off to get access. So we're going with setting 5, which is actually recommended by them here in the little manual that you get. So 5 clicks from softest, and then default and stiffest settings. They give you some direction, and then from there you can dial it in to whatever you desire. So setting 5 all the way around. Yeah, because this is under load right now, right? Hanging on with 2. You need this under this one here? Right there? Oh, okay, cool. Let's go.
It's okay, relax.
No, you're good. I was just trying to, I felt like it was falling over.
You're pushing it over.
Oh.
It's on me.
Jesus.
Okay, you see how it's empty space right there? Okay, so now we gotta take it off. Okay, so everything's locked in place. There's nothing there.
All right.
Ready? Relax.
All right.
Oh, I gotta remember this, so. You see how much compression?
Yeah, that's insane.
We moved like 4 inches.
Jesus.
So that's how much load is there.
Right.
So imagine, let's say 650 pounds per square inch, roughly. So probably times 4. I don't know, something like that. So now we're good.
All right, we made it. We survived. So for those of you at home, this is definitely more the DIY spring compression way to go. So I'm actually happy we're showing this because before we were at a shop that had like, you know, everything. This is more, someone could do this in their garage as far as, this is the toughest part of the install.
Be more careful.
Yeah. I feel like I'm laying a baby down.
I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna start and just stay where I want it to stay.
So instead of using the spring compressor, we're actually just going to use the weight of the car as we lower it down to get it back into the position it needs to be, which is a lot more convenient than using the spring compressor.
Okay, there we go. Put it in. There you go. See that tension there?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the rear arm does, because it's a solid bushing.
That needs to be pulled a little toward you. All right. Yeah, straight up there. Pretty close right there.
Okay.
All right, so we're just final assembly here. We're all done. We're gonna see how low it is. We'll do the before and after picture to show you that. And then what you guys are mainly interested in is what's the ride quality like. Again, setting 5 all the way around. I'm curious to see how low the front is because the spring seemed about 1 inch shorter than the stock spring. So we're gonna see how that all plays out as well, but almost there. All right, initial thoughts.
Initial thoughts. I think it definitely feels softer for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, like when you hit it, the car leans back a little bit more. Oh yeah, that was buttery over that.
A lot different, right? Is this a bump?
Little bump here. Yeah, it just eats it up.
Speed bump.
Speed bump.
That's
Yeah.
better.
It's better. I notice it over, like, in my opinion, it's the small imperfections is where it's a big difference. Speed bumps, not as much going through a parking lot like it's an autocross course. This one right here is what it feels. Feels much better.
That's where it helps a lot.
Yeah. We'll show you we'll show you the before and after picture of where we started, where we're at. That's what before and after is. All right, so it's been a few days. The suspension has settled in the Model 3. So it's a Model 3 standard range, so it's rear wheel drive, and we put on the Unplugged Performance Luxury suspension kit along with the dual rate lowering springs. These are the mild springs, so these are the least amount of low that you can get. And it feels really good. Now, immediately when you get in the car, and also we're gonna get out of the car in a second and show you around, show you what the wheel gap and everything looks like. Immediately when I'm sitting in it, it's like, whoa, like we're sitting what seems to be much lower. The Model 3 already sits very low, so it's even lower now, and just like really makes you feel like you're on the ground and connected with the vehicle. The big difference that I feel, and Andrew can speak to this too because this is his car, is over like all of the little rivets and like all those little tar patches in the road. That's what this suspension seems to eat up and reduce the NVH, the noise, vibration, harshness within the cabin a little bit better than the stock suspension. When you go over a speed bump or something like that, I don't find it to make much of a difference. We're going over some train tracks here in a second. Yeah, it just kind of eats it all up a little better than the stock suspension did. So that's really the main difference. And then the other thing is, like, you know, if you don't want to lower your car, I guess you could keep your stock springs and go with just the shocks, but I just don't know how those springs will work with the shocks because I don't think they were developed that way. So overall, so the shocks are $1,000, the springs are $420, the camber arms are $420. So you're like $2,000 almost with just the hardware. It was $900 to get it installed. So it just depends, you know, how much of an issue that you feel that it is, and that's how you can decide if it's worth it to you or not. But let's go ahead and pull over here so we can actually see what it looks like. That'll probably be helpful as well. So on the outside of the car, first of all, he has these arachnid style wheel covers. These are from Test Plus. I have a 20% coupon code off there. That these are excellent. And I got to meet their CEO, Chris. He's a cool dude, so I like to support the companies that support the channel. That's where those are from. It looks really good. I think Honestly, I think because of these wheel covers, it actually makes the car look a lot sportier up front. It's not like too low up here. Again, these are the 18-inch wheels. And also, as far as talking about comfort on your Model 3, Model Y, whatever it is, the smaller wheel diameter, the more tire that you have, the better off you're going to be, the less you're going to complain about it. It's when you put the 20-inch wheels on it from the performance that it comes to be a problem. I think it looks really good, very sporty. Moving to the back here, wheel sits nice. You can see it's kind of tucked in, so you have that negative camber. That's why we put the camber arms on there. So he'll be able to, when he takes it to an alignment shop, they'll be able to take that and neutralize it and set it to 0. So it sits flush, and then you're getting even tire wear, so you can rotate them and just you'll get more life out of your tires. That's why they say camber arms pay for themselves in the long run. All right, so the real question is, I can talk about it all I want, but Andrew paid the money for it. Close to almost $3-ish grand now. What's the biggest thing you noticed, and do you feel that it's worth it?
The biggest thing I've noticed is, like what you said, going over so many bumps in the road, and all of those seem to be smoothed out while going over a bigger pothole or speed bump or stuff like that. It's better over those, but the main difference is through all of the small little bumps in the roads. I've noticed on some roads my head would hit the seat like this, like all the time. And now it seems to be better.
So you don't have to ride around with a helmet anymore, because you used to go like this when you rode around.
Yeah.
So yeah, so also the dual rate spring is the first little bit of travel. That more bunched up part is eating up all the imperfections. It's more active. After that, the spring stiffens up when you load it going into a big turn or braking or something like that. So that's kind of how the dual rate spring is acting.
Is it worth it is the question.
Yeah, I mean,
for me, I think it's worth it. I've put about 45,000 miles on the car before the suspensions. I got to experience the car as is, and I feel like it helped make me feel like doing an upgrade was worth it. Because, you know, spend time with your car and see how it rides like as is, and then you can see more of a difference.
Yeah.
Rather than just doing it from the beginning.
Yeah, and Andrew's also like, he'll go and tinker with it. He's already messed with the front suspension to try and dial it in. So you have it on a setting 1 up front right now. And in the rear setting, what's
his 5?
5 in the rear.
Yeah.
So he's able to tinker with it, and he cares to like, he put it on the stiffest setting. He put it on the softest setting on setting 1 right now. So he's kind of messing around with it. So it depends. Like if you're into tinkering, if you really want to dial it in, this is something for you. If you don't care and you're just watching these videos to support the channel, well, we appreciate that. The organization appreciates that. Wanted to give you guys a little freeway action. So we're on the I-10 right now, perfectly paved section, and it feels buttery smooth. Like,
can't believe it's not butter.
I mean, I can't believe it's not butter, right? That's what they should have as far as the suspension should say. Fuck am I talking about? Yeah, it feels, on smooth roads, it feels really smooth. And on not so smooth roads, it feels smooth. So, that's really all you needed from this video, I guess. Goodbye. Dun 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 dun. Oh, those are the wheels. Oh, those are the wheels I had on mine. It's a good looking wheel, folks. Look at that. Yes. Now, if you want to see the same suspension put on my Model Y and some of the things that we did at Unplugged Performance, you can click this video right here that's covering up Andrew's face. That'll be a great video for you to watch, and you'll like it.